So maybe you can share something. Mr. Rahman, thank you very much for this very passionate speech, explaining the devastating challenges you and your families and generations have suffered many things. And Mr. Alam, thank you also for sharing the impact on the psychological state, the mental state that this living in exile has had on you and the refugee population. This is very, very important. And Mr. Arman, I want to also thank you, especially the point you mentioned about working with the different youth groups from the registered refugee camps and also from the other camps as well, and the service you're doing for your community. And all of the problems that was mentioned today cannot be solved by the government themselves or UN or UNHCR himself, but it needs to be worked together with the community, with all of them. As you mentioned, there's a lot of potentials in your community, and how we can work together to really fulfill those potentials as much as possible, I think is the only way we can find a feasible, realistic solution. I started my work as a lawyer in Japan, and one of the most memorable cases I had was asylum seeker, refugee, Rohingya. That helped me motivate to work outside in the United Nations. The first place I worked was in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, where again I met a lot of refugees, including in detention centers. Now my journey has brought me here to Cox's Bazar. And I cannot say enough how much it feels hearing the voices which has been accumulated for decades. I understand you have approached our colleague in the camp, and he has passed the message, your message, to us. And that's why we are all here, from the different units and sections of UNHCR, because we want to hear. I think you mentioned that, and your question was about, really, I find most essential part was about your voices being heard. Voices being heard directly from us, voices being heard at more high-level meetings. It is very essential, and I cannot stress enough the importance of hearing your voices as much as possible and reflecting them and finding solutions together. So I come here, I don't come here with concrete answers to all of the questions that you raised, but these are all very pertinent, very important questions. But I would like to explore together how we can make a system where your voices are heard and our voices are heard, and we can find solutions together. And I think this requires a pragmatic and a practical approach. And I do see that here, find that there is a community representation. We have community representative. We have a very strong community. So it doesn't need to be that everybody needs to come and talk, but you have proper mechanisms in place where your voices can be passed on as a community and share with us. And us to also share what we are doing, what we want to do together. So I really look forward that today is one of the important steps towards having such system where we can come together and we can find solutions. Like I mentioned, we need every bit of support and potentials out there to make any chance of finding a solution together in this very challenging world that we're in. Again, each one of you is important. Each voices you have are important. And it's our responsibility as UNHCR to hear them through proper mechanisms that we have established and we would like to reinforce them. So I hope that is something that we can discuss. Thank you very much.